Chapter 13. Everyone Gets Their Answers. "Hi, everybody," called down Rainbow as round and puffy clouds formed sparkly eyes to give a personality to his radiantly colored bands of light. He spread out to fill the sky, and the glistening mist rained down over the small party of pilgrims. "How was your trek?" he asked them all. "Meringue and cracked egg," he continued. "It's wonderful to see you again. Tell me who your friends are." "Well, Rainbow, here in the wagon is Precious Egg and Patience, our little turtle friend, and in the wheelchair is Humpty Dumpty." Cracked Egg turned around and around to find each of the little eggs in their party. "And this is Scrambled Egg, and here is Good Egg, and oh, over there is Bad Egg." Bad Egg was so overcome by the enormous bright light that he was almost hiding behind a rock, but he waved a little wave when Cracked Egg introduced him. "Hi," he said shyly. "The little eggs and Patience wanted to come to meet you," said Cracked Egg. "They each have important questions for you." "Okay, but do they know that all their questions are best answered through their own discoveries?" Rainbow sparkled with every word he said. "I already told them that," Cracked Egg laughed, "but they still wanted to come and actually see you for themselves." "Well, that's good. I'm really happy to meet all of you, but I will tell you another secret, and maybe save you from having to think up your questions when you might already know all your answers. Our best teachers and our lessons to learn are all around us," he began. "A flower is a wonderful teacher for us all. It starts out protected in a hard little shell. It needs to spend some time buried in the moist ground before it puts out its first little sprout. Then, very slowly and with lots of help from the warm sun and nurturing rain, it reaches out its stem to find its true self. It grows beyond that time when it needs to be protected by a shell and living in its dark little home. Once that little flower comes out of its shell, it bursts up to the surface and finds the light, the air, and the rain. Then it reaches out into space. A leaf unfurls here, and then another there. Soon a little blossom peeks out and pushes open to bloom. No one is telling that flower how to become itself or has given it a set of instructions. It already knows all it needs to know to become all it can be. But it does need protection and kindness at first so it won't be crushed, and it needs lots of nurturing and light. We're all like that, including each of you. So just like the little flower, you will know when it's time to start cracking open that shell of yours and pushing out a sprout. You will know when to reach for the light. You will know when it is time for a leaf or a blossom. And how will you know? Keep looking around you and listening inside for the messages. Take the time to understand what you are saying to yourself. Each of you is like the flower, and each step you take is like a stem pushing up or a bloom popping forth. This trek is just so that you can share all that you are learning with me. Let me know what your discoveries mean to you. When you hear your own inner messages and understand them, then you will keep growing just like the flower for the rest of your life. But if you ever forget, you can just come and see me again. Or maybe you can just think of me and remember to listen. Together, we will remember that you are always on your path. So you see, just listening to your own inner voice is what it's all about. What do you think of that? Will you each tell me what you learned on this little trip here to see me?" Rainbow sparkled at all of them. They were smiling because what he said made sense to everyone, but they had to think a lot to figure out what it meant to each one of them personally. "Thank you, Rainbow, for reminding us of what we really need to remember. That was a good lesson for me. I came here to remember that I have all the answer to all my questions." Cracked Egg laughed in surprise because he'd forgotten the message that he most tries to teach to others. "Would you like me to start?" "That would be good. You can be the teacher," said Rainbow. "You start us off, please." "Okay," said Cracked Egg with a little pause. "First of all, I just learned again what I forgot during this trip. That our next lessons are all around us in every way. They just pop out at us and surprise us. And your words brought me another surprise reminder. Sometimes I think I need to be a teacher for everyone else. When I think that, I forget that the most important thing is to be the teacher for myself. The most important thing for me is to become all that I can be, to be my most wonderful self, just like a beautiful flower. So I can sometimes be the teacher to others, but most importantly, I will be the teacher to myself. Thank you, Rainbow." "That's true," smiled Rainbow. "It's always important to learn your own lessons so that you grow into your greatest self. Help others as you can, but learn from the adventure you are living. That is what your life is all about. And then you can be an even bigger help to others along the way." "Good reminder for me too, Rainbow," she said. "As you were talking to Cracked Egg, I learned another lesson. I felt so happy seeing you and listening to your words that I realized that I had forgotten that I should always carry you in my heart. I could feel this wonderful and happy all the time if I will just remember that you live within me. After hiking all these hours on a hard trek to come to see you, I could have just sat in the fields among the flowers and let myself remember you. You are always there if I will just remember that you are in my heart. I'm so glad to see you, but now I know you have never left me. I just forgot you. If I do forget you even a little bit, I'll meditate with the flowers and remember you again. You're right, Meringue. I will never leave you. And if you forget even for a little bit, I may even surprise you and show up, filling the sky with rainbows as you meditate. You never know." "I learned a new lesson," piped up Patience. "I learned that it takes a lot of courage to defend someone." Precious stood up to Bad Egg and told him not to be so mean. Then he pushed her and she was badly hurt, but she still forgave him. And she defended me because she's my best friend and didn't want anyone to hurt me. She was really courageous. I used to think that eggs that came to Eggland Lake and threw rocks at the turtles were all really scary, and that the eggs were our enemies. Then I met Precious, and she taught me that eggs can be nice. I think it would be good for me now to teach the turtles that we can all be friends. That will take some courage to do because my turtle friends will laugh at me, but I want them to know that some eggs might be mean, but most are nice. And some turtles can be mean too, but most are nice. We have to learn to come together and make friends. I want to be courageous too and defend the eggs." "Thank you, Precious, for teaching me about being courageous," whispered Patience, a little breathless and emotional after her